Hi guys, it's Emily from Australian Frugal here, back with another video for you. So you would have just seen my grocery haul from this week, and in there I mentioned I was going to be making yogurt because the yogurt I usually buy when I'm being lazy is Woolies and Coles brand yogurt, or Aldi brand. It was $3.45 a tub. It's now $4.20, I think it was when I saw it at the shops today. So I'm going to go back to making my own because it is super simple and easy. You can make it on the stovetop. I'm going to make it in the Thermomix. It's the same thing, the same directions. It's going to stir it for me in the bits that it needs to be stirred, so I don't have to sit and stir it. It's not that much stirring, but I also have a bunch of other stuff I need to prep and film and all of that. So I'm going to make it in the Thermomix. So if you have a Thermomix, you can follow along what I'm doing, or you can just most Thermomix have an automated feature for making yogurt, or you can make it on the stove with the same directions. I'll tell you if there's anything different, and I'll tell you the options basically. So if you're keen for that, I'm going to make the yogurt, and I might record some other prep that I'm doing as well, so stay tuned. Don't forget, if you like this kind of content, to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell to be notified when I post new videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Alright, so I have this yogurt, which is a live cultured yogurt. You need one with live cultures. Most of them will do it, but if says live cultures, that's better. This was $4.50, so on special, so just a little bit more than the normal 1 kilo Woolworths one, and this is 900 grams. I'm going to use, I think it's 120 grams as starter, and then you can keep 120 grams aside of the yogurt you make and keep making it forever, and then you won't actually have to spend the money to buy this. So yeah, I've also made it with 100 grams if I don't have quite enough. I have adjusted things slightly wherever, and it still works. Optionally, you can add sugar. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. I usually do honey, but I didn't want to deal with all of that with filming, so I'm going to add some sugar to make it sweet. You can add vanilla essence, which I will go and grab out of the cupboard in a minute. Some room temperature milk. So the reason I'm doing it now and I'm using this milk is because I just bought this, so it's been in the car and I finally got home. Then I left it out on the counter while I went to go and pick up the kids. It's still a little bit colder than that, so I'm going to take a liter out of this, and then I'm going to put it back in the fridge. And I also bought in that shop a jar for $4, because I usually make this in my thermoserver. But if you're making it at home and you don't have a Thermomix, you probably don't have a thermoserver, so you can do it like this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So I've just taken the sticker off the bottom, and before I get started, I'm going to pour some boiling water into this to get it. Actually, I might not do it yet. I'll pour some boiling water in, sterilize it, and then tip it out. And then later I'm going to add some boiling water to it to preheat the jar before I add my yogurt. But stay tuned for that. So the premise of making yogurt is really simple. You're simply parboiling your milk to remove any impurities, all of that. Then you're going to let it come to the optimum temperature to let that bacteria and those cultures develop, which is about 37 degrees. You're going to add your starter, which is either yogurt you bought from the shops, or you can buy specific yogurt starter. Both work. Then you're going to mix that all together, and then let that ferment for a period of time in a warm place, keeping it at that optimum temperature. And then you're going to put it into the fridge and you're going to let it set. It's really that simple. And you can do it on the stove, so you just parboil it, let it come down to 37 degrees, add your starter, stir all that through, put it into a container of some kind. I prefer glass jars, or you can use like a thermos. And then you wrap it up in towels or blankets and stick it in a warm place for 6 to 12 hours until it has fermented. You can check on it and leave it there longer, every hour if you need to at the end there. And then pop it in the fridge until it's cold and it's set, kind of like you see in the pot. That's what it's set as. So yeah, making yogurt is super simple. You can flavor it before, you can flavor it after. There's millions of different recipes. You can add milk powder if you want it thicker and creamier, they say, but honestly, I've done both ways and I couldn't tell the difference. It also depends on the yogurt that you start with as to the flavor, because that's what you're adding and that's the cultures you're adding. So if you start with a really thick yogurt, you're going to end up with a thicker yogurt in the end. If you start with a thin yogurt, thinner. Also, some yogurts can taste kind of cheesecakey. So if you start with one that's kind of a cheesy flavor, you're going to end up with a cheesier result than, say, a tangier yogurt. So yeah, I hope that helps. Now I'm going to do this super simple throw it all together recipe. So if you want to stick around for that, I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so we've got a litre of milk in here on my Thermomix. Now I'm going to add 100 grams of yogurt. You could use kitchen scales. I've got my yogurt and I'm going to add 100 grams of that. Let's see. So it looks like it'll be about 3 heaped teaspoons, but it'll be different depending on what yogurt you're using. 4. Alright, I'm just gonna get it off my spoon. Don't want to waste it. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna add my 40 grams of sugar. And then 2 tablespoons of vanilla essence, vanilla bean paste, or vanilla extract. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Looks about right. And then we're going to set it to 12 minutes at 37 degrees for speed 3, which is a good mixing speed. All right, turn that on. Now you would bring it to a parboil first, and then you would let it come down to 37 degrees, and then you would add in your starter and everything if you were doing it on the stove. This recipe skips all of that. We let it come to a 37 degrees in this and start the starter immediately, basically, and it will cook, it will culture for about 12 minutes, and then I will be able to put it directly into this jar. I'm going to pour boiling water into this and let it sit, and then once my yogurt is done, I'm going to pour out the boiling water, dry the inside real quick, put my yogurt directly into that, wrap it in a towel, wrap it into a Coles or a Woolworths cold bag to insulate it, and then I'm going to stick it in the top of my garage where it's nice and warm for it to ferment for about 8 to 12 hours. You could do the top of your fridge, microwave, just a really warm place, because the longer it stays warm, the better those cultures are going, and the bacteria are going to ferment your milk and turn it into yogurt. Alright, so it's done. So I'm going to empty the water out of this, dry it, and then I'm going to pour the yogurt into here. Pour the yogurt into here, and then I have this lunchbox, this insulated lunchbox, and a tea towel that's almost the right size. So I'm going to tuck that in there, wrap it in another towel, and then go stick it in the garage.
He doesn't want you right now. What is that meant to me? Wait.
All right, and then I've got a towel in another insulated bag, and I'm gonna wrap it again. All right, and we're gonna take it into the garage. And I'm gonna stick it up there in my stockpile because heat rises, and this should stay warm pretty much all night. And there it is. There is my yogurt. I had a little bit left over, so I popped another jar, the rest in another jar, and we will be back to check on it in 8 to 12 hours. It's 5 o'clock, so that would be 5 in the morning, so let's aim for 8. All right, so here they are. I told you I made too much, so I had this one as well. Look at that wobble. Sorry, baby's going for a nap and he's not happy about it. I do need to get my scales recalibrated, which is why I have too much, but that's okay. Obviously, my litre wasn't a litre. It was probably more like 1.5 liters. And let me show you. So there it is. And quick stir it together. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. Yogurt is super easy to make. You can make it at home. You can stick it in a warm place like your garage or on top of the fridge or on top of your dryer. Or you could also, if your house is colder in the middle of winter, get a little esky, fill it with some boiling water, stick your jars into that water, close it up, leave it for your 8 to 12 hours as well. Don't forget, if you like this kind of content, to like, comment, subscribe, click the little notification bell to be notified when I post new videos, and drop any comments down in the comments box below, and I will catch you tomorrow with the next video.